Look, you have to just make sure that you get money credited into your mobile money account. I tell you that January is 75 days, all right? So when you don't have anybody giving anything to you during the Christmas, don't get worried. Just make sure that you're prepared for January. 75 days will always mean that you've already spent 3 days of it. But today is when secondary school students reopen school. It also means that by this time you should have bought or dispatched your daughter or your son to school. And you would have spent money. So we want to give you some substitutes. We have cash out, goes with the short code star 439. Choose option 2. Please increase your stake. Increase your stake and then increase the number of tickets because you get the prompt. When you choose option 2, TV3, you'll get a prompt that is asking you which of the stakes you need, 5, 10, 25, 35, because it's 75 days. If you can do 40, 50, it also means that on the dashboard, your chances will be increasing. And that will be a great transformational achievement for you. You'll be following, you see that the star 439 hash is even in yellow. So you don't have a problem. So let's get going. For those who have joined us today, we're grateful. Let me say good morning to Chief Mante of Akosombo and the wife, Vivian Mante as well, with the Volta River Authority. I wish you all the best. It's Sujaman constituency is where they live. I promised that I'll come pass by this Christmas. I couldn't. They said we should work, so I was working. But also, for all those who have joined us, let me just introduce our guests for this morning because we're talking about a very important issue. We're going all the way to the president appears before Parliament, and we'll be watching from the chamber and the public gallery as well. You also be watching live right here on TV3. The State of the Nation is last. But what we want to take a look at is do an introspection. What is the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his vice president, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, living or bequeathing us? The states of Ghana's economy, the state of Ghana. What are we inheriting from the president? And that is what we're discussing. I have from the campaign trail, and George Aisi, I've known him for the better parts of my adult life. So he's been in government for 8 years, and we've had some great relations over the years, from civil life into political appointing life, but all the great things. George Aisi is right here. Good morning to you, George.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Happy New Year. Great, great. I haven't met you as well. Solomon Owusu, the new kid on the block, the discovery of the year for 2024. I didn't know that they had great communicators in the MPP, but with the movement for change, they did a lot of, you know, groundbreaking intrusions into our political space over the years. So at least. And then, of course, lawyer Abraham Amaleba. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Same to you. I thought you were going in order of progression. And so the next person would have been Jantua. Why did he jump to me? And
Jantua is my Chief Justice, always on my panel.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm okay, I'm fine. Just that we are getting to the tail end of the bad governance that we had. I was the first to indicate that Ghanaians should be given certificates after this government leaves office for bearing the hardship.
Certificate of survival.
Survival.
Malik calls it certificate, but.
So I think that they should be preparing our certificates for us. Yeah.
It can't be that hard, is it? Yeah, no.
No, but you read a texter who talked about Ukraine, Russia, and I shudder to think that even where the bombs are falling, the economy is not as bad as this place, where the bombs are actually falling on. And yet you keep saying Ukraine and Russia. And yet the countries that you are mentioning, they are the hardest hit, and yet their economy is not as bad as ours. So we are seeing the back of this government. That's what is important for now.
All right. Lawyer Kwame Jantua, Wafa, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are
Great,
you?
yeah. You know that today is what? Third. You know that fifth?
Yes.
Sixth?
Yes. Seventh.
We're live. I know that.
They are live.
Yeah. You are joining us. You will join us. One of the nights when we're doing Ghana Decides Election Command Center, I saw Charlie, the man up. He had talked and I think we went to the other side of the studio and Utunkusa, Charlie.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Man makes soft.
It's not easy to talk about this government too.
Oh no. It was the election. Please. Please share the stream. And what is your state of Ghana today? What do you think also is the president giving us? What are we inheriting from him by way of Ghana today? So let's have some great discussions on the back of all those who have joined us. Please share the stream. Eric has joined us. Johnson, I see Odella, Kwesi, Chamfo, Samuel, Justice, Anaba. Great morning to all of you. Please share the stream. Let's have some great time as well. But George, how are you?
I'm good.
What are we inheriting from the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government? Ghana today.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to you. Good morning to our viewers. And good morning to the distinguished panelists that I'm with today. Good morning to the Ghanaian people. They've made a decision, which decision is asked us to pack out and then let the NDC take over the reins of governance. It's all part of the democratic process. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, his vice president, took over the reins of affairs in 2017. And how time flies. 8 years has come down the line. His Excellency will be appearing in Parliament today to give his final State of the Nation address. And definitely some of the accountabilities will be required of him to state what is the state of the economy, what is the state of Ghana as far as social issue, the economy, infrastructure, education, and all other facets of the economy must be accounted for. And so he's going to do that today. But before he does that, definitely the viewer will be interested in, and as your heading suggested, the economy. That is the crux of the matter. We went into the election mainly on the economy. I remember my last appearance here before the election, I did say, quote President Kufuor, that he was sitting Natua Bapa. And so whatever the circumstance, Ghanaians will be making assessment of their situations and then make a determination. The Minister of Finance is appeared before Parliament on the mini budget, and he's given that about 68.1 will be expended. The committee worked yesterday, he was there, and to, work on that. So that has been done. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that has been done, and then we'll be touching on that. The Finance Minister again did say that as we believe in, the economy is not as bad or precarious as some would want us to believe. We have heard some of the leaders of the winning party beginning to make statements that connotes that things are very bad, but we want to disagree. He's saying that as we believe in, the Treasury, the National Reserves has about $8 billion which is about 3.5 months of import cover, as against what we inherited in 2016, about 6.2 billion. When we go first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, I did say last time, and I'm going to reiterate it, that the economy is rebounding, and the Finance Minister has reiterated that severally. The economy is rebounding from inflation of about 54.1% in 2022. As we speak, it's about 23%, and we inherited 15.
This economy is rebounding?
Yes.
In 15. What ways?
But we're talking data, and so let's go on with the data and see what the data says. Unless somebody say we are going to discount data, okay? You need to speak to data. The World Bank, the IMF, everybody will be speaking to data. You get it, and the data is what we are talking about. So first quarter growth of 4.8%. Second quarter, half year, you know, we had about 7% growth, and third quarter, 7.2% growth, averaging about 6.3% growth as of now, which compared to what we inherited, we are looking at 3.4% GDP growth as of the time we took over. So you cannot say this economy is as bad as people want us to believe. That is something we need to be looking at. So it's something that is very, very important. Debt in the energy sector is something we're looking at. You know, I think last time, was it on your show, Delex Finance man quoting some $5.2 billion inherited in 2017 in the debt in the energy sector. Compared to, as we speak, about $2.2 billion as we speak. Yesterday, I think about 20 billion CD releases to the IPPs and interest payment on that tax, which is there in yesterday's listing. I think.
Which tax? Are you talking about ESLA?
ESLA, you know, interest payment.
Securitized?
Yes, so those are the part of the releases, so that IPP's payment. And you know, before the election, ASOGLE had issues with government, over 259 million debts, and government released about 30 million and all that. So these are issues that definitely Ghanaians will be looking at. Debt to GDP situations will also be factored into the conversation. What is the state, the debt to GDP situation? As we speak, you know, it's about 74.6%. When we took over, it was about 56.9, which is almost 57%. It's now 74.6 at 761 billion Ghana cedis. That's the situation as espoused by the Finance Ministry. And so these are 61.
When you took over, how much was it?
You know, we'll get 122 billion.
So it's increased over 600 billion?
Oh, yeah, but that's why we say debt to GDP. So it's in relation to the GDP,
so 122 billion
the size
to
of
over
the economy.
700.
Yes, and 61, yes. Okay. So the size of the economy is factored in, which was about 52, 54 billion. Today is about 76 billion. So that's the economy we are bequeathing to the next government. So, and all other
So George,
yes.
all these indicators that you enumerate and admit, how can this be an economy that is rebounding?
Of course, if you inherited an economy growing at 3.4 and you are living in an economy which is likely to grow at about 6%.
When you inherited the economy, when you inherited the economy in January, when you inherited the economy in January 2017,
yes,
we were at the IMF, right?
Yes, we were at the IMF.
And you admit the debt to GDP ratio was less than 60%.
Yes, about 50.
Now we're in excess of
so
77.
Yes, 74.
And we had restructured our debt in January 20.
Yes.
We had restructured our debt in January 2017.
Oh no.
Okay. So let's take you.
Yes.
Your household.
Yeah.
At the time that you are retiring, you owe so much to the point that you've gone to your creditors to restructure your payment terms. When you know that post 50, post 60, your income streams have reduced. How is that a household that is strong you are bequeathing to your children?
What is the percentage of the people within that bracket? You do the aggregation of all.
Which bracket, George?
Those you're talking of pension, post-retirement. What is the percentage of that? You do aggregations. In the statistical arena, they will do the aggregation of the impact of all the sectors, okay? So that is those who are actively working. What is the rate of returns they are bringing into the economy and their households, okay? And the pensioners. Yes, the impact on the pensioners was that, okay? Nobody's discounting that or disputing that, okay? And so that is why we are saying rebounding. As far as policies were implemented, we are with the IMF, okay? And the IMF engagements, you know, we spoke about e-levy and others, and there was the conversation that is going to be taking off betting tax and all that. Okay, but those things were brought in to meet certain benchmarks, economic thresholds for the IMF engagements and others. So maybe the new government will definitely have a conversation with the IMF to see whether they're going to have a revision of whatever the engagements are and co. So that is, it's not only about the debt exchange matters or debt restructuring matters and its impact on the pensioners. Is going to cut across all the sectors. The Ghanaian worker, what is the situation? Are they being paid their salaries? Or is it as a result of the debt restructuring? Salaries are being halted, okay? Or there's no increment in salary. All these things are going to be factored.
Okay.
No, those things are there. You make the argument. All these things have been factored into the growth aggregation. And then the growth is around 7.2 third quarter.
Right.
So it tells you the pointers are, you know, looking good. Recovery is coming. That's why I said the economy is rebounding.
Roland.
Yes, sir.
If I had my way, but for the fact that it is a constitutional imperative, the president shouldn't address Parliament today at all.
If not, it's in the Constitution.
If not, but for the fact that it's a constitutional imperative, the president shouldn't address Parliament.
Okay? Why?
Anytime he has opportunity, he abuses us.
Meaning what? What do you mean by that, Lawyer Maliba?
Anytime he has opportunity, he abuses our sensibilities and our intelligence. An example is what he did with awards. The only person who, in my view, is deserving of that award is Erasmus Donko.
But there's Bright up here who has worked hard right into. I've worked with him for God knows how many.
It is not exceptional. It's not exceptional.
Herbert Mensah.
It's not exceptional.
Oh, Herbert Mensah.
No, it's not exceptional. He has not done what others have not done. But it's Erasmus Donko. We all saw the fight he staged. Let's not even talk about his appointees, that he was dishing out.
Donko. Okay, that's your opinion. I give it to
you. Aside of the MPs or the ministers that he was dishing the trophies to. So, he's going to come today and tell us what has not existed under his administration.
I don't understand.
He's coming to play, to as it were, paint a rosy picture of his administration. And yet, the people of this country, on the 7th of December, disagreed with his governance. But he's going to come, look us in the face, and tell us what didn't happen under his administration. Pat himself in the back. Ghana's economy is facing a number of challenges. I heard him say that Ghana's the economy is rebounding. The companies that left as a result of the bad economy, are they returning? Have they returned? Are they preparing to come back? That's what you use to measure an economy rebounding. These companies left. And when they left, it affected employment. People were removed or taken off from their employment places. So if your economy is that bad and they are relocating to your neighboring countries, you don't come and sit here and throw dust in the eyes of people and say it is rebounding. On the eve of elections, didn't we see an increase in fuel prices? Which government will do that?
But
on the eve, we saw.
But the adjustment is.
It doesn't matter. It tells you how bad. I'm telling you how bad the economy is, to the extent that even on the eve. But is a fuel price?
It's automatic adjustment.
Is the automatic adjustment different from what the economy looks like? Is it not? Is it not the management of the economy that is fed into the increment? Are you not following? So, you don't come and sit here and paint a rosy picture as your president does when he has opportunity. You don't do that. People are actually suffering. Look, the haircuts that took place.
From 2022.
Do you know the number of people who died out of it? I don't even want to mention a prominent person who died as a result of that. I'm not going to mention because it's not good to remind families of their dead, you know. So you wonder if we have a government that actually have some feelings and is interested in the welfare needs of the people. Wow. Look, your dollar, you took it from close to 4. Today it's 15. And then you pat your back and say that because it has come from 17 to 15, we should clap for you. Can you imagine the logic? The logic.
Please say that right.
You took your dollar from close to 4 to 15, 17. Because it has come from 17 to 15, we should clap for you.
You said data.
But the data also tells you that it was 4.
It was 1.2 before to 4.
So why don't you send it to the 1?
It's the same rate.
Why don't you send it to the 1? And so
it means that he says 70 is better than 4 by data.
That's what he's saying, yes. 17 is better than 4. That's the logic.
Wow.
Now, because of the unstable nature of the currency, it affects businesses. They are unable to plan. You know, particularly those who import goods. It affects their income. What they have today, before they realize it has been dissipated. And you don't come and speak the way you spoke. Apologize to the people and let the people understand that you feel for them. Apologize to them because you took them through this hardship, this excruciating hardship. You don't come and sit on national television and paint a rosy picture. And that if somebody had just landed in this country this morning, you would think that all is well.
Dispute my figures.
Are you saying the reluctance of the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration to still admit that people are facing difficulties, not only people, but institutional investors, pensioners who have had their bonds and the returns that they are expecting restructured, as well as companies who have invested a lot, whether they are from abroad, etc., to admit that this economy is bad, is still something they are not learning from?
They have continuously denied and behave as if they are unaware of the bad nature of the economy. And that's how the Ghanaian people taught them a lesson at the 7th December elections. Yesterday, I saw the budget. And we are using almost 20 billion plus to service interest. And compensation, salaries, is around 16 billion. When you get to this point where you use so much of your income or money or revenue to pay for your debts, it tells you that your country is in shambles, where the figure for interest is more than salaries and compensations. Is it therefore surprising that salaries have largely remained stagnant? Is it therefore surprising that the take-home does not take you home? The take-home salary does not take you home. Is it therefore surprising? And to quote my brother, ABF Husseini, everything under Akufo-Addo was always going up, unless his own height, Akufo-Addo's height. Everything. To the extent that, do you know that?
I don't understand. You said...
I'm saying that under Akufo-Addo, everything is increasing. And I'm quoting ABF Husseini, except his own height. Look, Look at this WASI thing that they couldn't pay. Look at the disgrace it's brought to us. The debt they owed WASI.
They pay something now. I think 30 something. They've released the results. 25.
25 and that is nothing.
But they owe them almost 200 million.
And I get angry when they are even talking and they have the mouth to say, we have now paid. Did it need to happen at all in the first place? Did it need to happen? Did it need to happen in the first instance? You are even gloating over, we have paid some. Can you imagine? What kind of mediocrity? Jesus. Can you imagine? A teacher raised my daughter, then you say that, but he has been teaching her well.
Please say what? A teacher did what?
Raised my daughter, and you tell me that, oh, but it's the teacher who taught her to pass the exam. Can you imagine? What kind of mediocrity is that? He doesn't understand. Now, another thing. Ghanaian workers. Do you know that under this administration, for the first time, mortuary attendants went to strike on 2 occasions? Did you ever hear that? Morgue. Or you are not aware? Mortuary attendants.
Yeah, rep came to the studio, actually.
They came here. When these are people who normally do their work in silence.
With dead people.
I don't know whether with dead people or live people, but I know
But
that.
the work they do.
Well, I don't know. But for the first time under this administration, on 2 critical occasions, they had to come out. It tells you the bad nature of the economy. And I'm using these things to show to you that if today we ask Akufo-Addo before he leaves that, do you believe that you have served or governed this country to the glory of God?
Yes.
In his heart of hearts, he will know that he has done so much wrong to this country. This administration virtually made Ghanaians suffer to the extent that people decided to leave in droves. Do you know people left this country? Do you know that? Do you know people left this country because of excruciating economic circumstances? And I was here to tell you, an engineer in ECG left this country, not because he wasn't employed, but the fact that he couldn't even, as it were, meet his needs. So, for me today, people are saying that Akufo-Addo should apologize. He's a man who doesn't apologize. I don't expect him to apologize. What I expect is that today, Ghanaians should thank their stars. That is the last time that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the man who will be playing in the league, in the leagues, or in the league that is being played by Mobutu, by Yadima, by Ketimili Masiri. That is the league he's going to play in. Because this was a tyrant who, during his reign, you journalists suffered. You know that.
Mr. Usu, but if you take a look at the indicators, they don't look. We've already rehashed a number of them. And indeed, even George does admit that meeting a debt to GDP ratio, you take a look at 122 billion and now taking up to close to 800 billion. That will be as at the last count, as always. And then appropriately, you look at the main currency that importers trade in, that is even used as the main means of legal tender when it comes to foreign purchases, the US dollar. Now, on the streets, and we use street rates to do what the calculations are, and then the burden on people, 17 Ghana cedis, 16 Ghana cedis, depending on the quantum you're looking at. That's a problem, is that not it? Because it means that people's purchasing power vastly eroded. We've seen over the period industries and then entities, multinationals that were operating here, pack out of Ghana, go to our neighbors, And the response we get prior to the election is that the Francophone countries are backed by so-called the French economy. And businessmen who tend to do a lot of imports, traders, Guta, raising concerns about charges at the ports. We're still paying COVID levy, sanitation tax. And you look at the response from government, you say that, are they empathizing or they are just being strongly arrogant?
Thank you very much. Let me greet my candidate, Mr. Alan Chemanten, and all the Movement for Change supporters across the length and breadth of this country. Let me also say that the position of George will definitely change in 4 days' time.
I don't understand.
Because he's still in government. And believe you me, when he's in opposition, he will begin to make the sort of arguments that our brothers in the NDC were making. Now, he said we should be fixated on the data. It was this same data
George,
that we took to the elections, and I met him here. I listened to him carefully before the elections, making the same argument, and the Ghanaian people said, no, they disagree with you. They're different. This is fiction. The data you are giving to us is fiction. There's a difference between reality and fiction. The economy of this country is what is prevailing in your pocket. Yes. Simplicity. If you have a government that has been able to push close to 1 million people in the Ashanti region into the poverty threshold, then what are you talking about? It explains the numbers. It explains the apathy towards the government. If you have a government that came into power on the pretext that it was going to move from taxation to production, can you say that indeed this government reduced taxes and then orchestrated
transition
into production?
Companies into...
That is not the case. You understand? A government that came, a lot of people, especially the elderly, believed that President Akufo-Addo had what it takes to deal with the issue of corruption. Corruption rather fought him. He lost the battle on the way. He couldn't know where he was even passing. But let me say that in 4 days' time, we will be saved the trouble of fueling a Land Cruiser going around the country that was hosting a chair that the president was going to sit on.
I do understand.
The president was going around as it were, putting a chair that he would be sitting in a Land Cruiser, fully furnished, branded, automatic, brand new Land Cruiser.
For security.
Which one is the security?
Of the
How many of the past presidents were going around with Land Cruisers? Is he the only president in this country? Is he the only president? Look, he is a president that came to meet the turbidity levels of our water bodies less than 14,000 NTU. He is leaving us with an NTU, a turbidity level of 14,000 and above. So what are you talking about? I don't believe that today he should go to the Parliament House and then speak at length. In fact,
are you serious?
No, his speech must be less than 3 minutes.
Why?
He should just go and tell the people, as he has begun saying, that let posterity be the best judge. And we will be in this country. For any president or for anybody in this country to miss President Akufo-Addo will mean that his successor performed abysmally poor.
George, you can say that.
He's George.
Oh, Solomon.
He will very soon join me in opposition and you understand the language. Now he's in government, so he doesn't understand it.
You think he's winding up, so...
Oh, yeah, he would. What can he
but let me ask you, what do you think and how do you think posterity will judge the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government on key policies like one district, one factory?
One district, one factory.
The implementation of a free SHS program.
Yes.
And then also anti-corruption. And then you have one village, one dam, and one constituency, $1 million appropriately. So
on the face of it, these policies are supposed to be very good policies.
Ideally.
If these policies were implemented well, this country would have moved forward. A policy like the one district, one factory, beautiful. Because if you go to China, the reason why China is booming today is as a result of such policies. But you see, that policy cannot meet your expectation when the monetary and fiscal policies of the government itself is also kicking against it. Industries thrive when your tax or taxations are very low. Industries thrive when your interest rate very low. You are talking about a country where, as he is living, the policy or the lending rate is in the region of 36%. What business will thrive under such a circumstance? You are talking about a country where today we are collecting COVID tax. Today, we are paying special import levy. Today, we are doing compound calculation of VAT. All these things kicks against business. And that is why you have a lot of the middle class having been wiped out. My brother was talking about the fact that people are living, were living. They are still living. They are running away from this country.
It hasn't halted?
No, they are going because they are not too sure. Until there is a monumental shift from the policies that were implemented by Nana Akufo-Addo, nothing is going to happen. See the way in the midst of the destruction of the environment, you had a president that introduced LI 2462, permitting people to be mining in our forest. So if you have such a president, how would posterity judge him right? And that posterity must be a very unserious posterity. Look, just this 31st night, I decided to go and fellowship at the National Cathedral site because that is where it has been designated for all.
You can't do
That's why I went there.
No,
I did a live video over there. I went there, the place was so quiet, nobody was there. And I said that this country, we are very hypocrite. You have a site that has been dedicated for your, as a National Cathedral, we are not done. You will not go there and worship. The president himself wasn't there. He that said God has chosen that very particular site.
But the place has not been completed.
But why must you complete right before you go in? You must go there. You gave us that hole. We can do something with it. $58 million. We threw it away. When people are wallowing in abject poverty, and you tell me we are going to miss him, we will miss him for the wrong reasons, not the good reasons. Nothing good has come from. Look, today is the 2nd of January. Charles, Congress of Heads of Assistant Secondary School, they are fighting with the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, as whether or not they should reopen schools.
Today's dead.
That is the legacy of President Akufo-Addo. As we speak, College of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, they have declared an indefinite strike. That is the legacy of President Akufo-Addo. WAEC. Today, they released the results about 2 or 3 days ago. Now, parents don't know what to do. How they can even, as it were, push their walls into the various tertiary institutions. And go and check the results. Poto. Go. Not very encouraging at all. Not encouraging at all because the students were even going to school without eating. That was when they gave them the social rights. Remember? You go and give these students social rights, they will give you a very bad results.
I don't understand. You mean this
they will not be
social results?
Yeah, social results.
No, you can't make.
No, it's a social results.
You can't make those.
This results is a social results spearheaded by the social president who is living. And we are very grateful that he is living. But I want to admonish George to immediately move himself from being a government appointee to now think of how to survive in opposition like me. Because opposition is hell. We have suffered though. I'm telling you. And we will continue.
But you were a member of the FPP, so I don't see the reason.
Opposition in government. You was not in opposition, was in government.
I was with you for many years.
Went to government and you left.
How fondly or unfondly are we going to remember the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government in terms of what they said they would do and just on the eve of leaving office, what they have done and bequeath ordinary Ghanaians?
Yeah. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my fellow panelists. And I welcome George into opposition.
He's not yet there yet.
Oh, he's there. He's there. A few days, he'll be gone. He's there. You know, let me start from this point. The MPP didn't campaign on the economy.
I don't understand.
They didn't campaign on the economy. They campaigned on free SHS and digitalization. That was the major campaign of the MPP, which unfortunately they got it wrong. Because with digitalization, you need energy. Now, where's the energy sector today? Digitalization, you need energy. Free SHS. There are 2 strands to free SHS which they didn't consider. The first strand is those in the rural areas who will adore the freeness of the education. Fine. The second strand is the quality of education, where people in the urban areas who are urban poor, who like the freeness, but look at the quality of education and realize that the quality of education ain't getting them anywhere. That's the challenge. Let me go back. Just stop saying, ah. It's true. Let me go back to 2016. The president is leaving. The first point of call, he should answer some of the things he said and tell us whether he's been able to do it for the people.
Which are some of the promises?
I shall protect the public purse. Is it protected? Would you say the public purse is protected? You came in with the government, the previous government, taking us into IMF. You kicked against it. You said all the meat around the bone had been eaten. But you have come and you've cracked the bone and eaten the marrow. Absolutely nothing there. We are back at IMF. So tell me, how did you protect the public purse? 2, I am too old to steal your money. I already have my money. State capture. State capture. Look at the lands around. Look at some of the things that went on. And President Akufo-Addo was quiet about it. That quietness, what is it? That quietness, that you wouldn't talk, you wouldn't say anything. You leave your people to do what they want to do by state capture, taking lands of government and selling it for themselves. Huh? I am too old to steal your money. Yet isikaso so come dear ampa. It's true. Yet isikaso. I come still in the end. Are we still not hungry? By the election that was held just a few weeks ago, what does that tell us? That the money also yet tisono, but also yet tisikaso come there. Still, come there. Try me and see. We have tried. Ghanaians have given a verdict, haven't they? And Ghanaians are not happy with your governance. We've tried you. But you see, Roland, it's a good thing President Akufo-Addo came.
I don't understand.
He's opened Ghanaians' eyes.
Yeah.
Because if President Akufo-Addo didn't come, and another government came, and that government didn't perform, we would have said, hey, Nanka, you vote Akufo-Addo, you want to you vote Akufo-Addo, you want to you want to I am not corrupt, and I will never be corrupt. You might not be corrupt. Have you been able to stem corruption? You are the leader. It's not as if you are not the leader. The buck stops with you. On this table, who is the leader? On this table, who is the leader?
Roland.
Can we do anything ultra-vires and you sit and watch us?
No, you can't.
No. You make sure you put us into order. So you are the leader. The buck stops with you and nobody else. And you tell us that I'm not corrupt, I will never be corrupt. So far as the people around you are corrupt, you are also corrupt because you failed to handle corruption. I can develop Ghana without borrowing. The money is here. What happened to the bonds? Because you were using bonds and loans short term to do what? To secure the CD when you needed long term. When you were complaining about the previous government doing the same, you came. You said what? Taxation to production. Did it happen? Did it happen? You said, oh, we have done away with the nuisance taxes. What about the taxes you brought in? Are we not still paying COVID levy? And even that COVID levy, do we know what the money is being used for? Do you know how much COVID levy has accrued? You're a journalist and you have your sources. Can you tell us how much COVID levy has accrued and where has that money gone to? So if you tell us, I can develop Ghana without borrowing. You borrowed, an extra borrowed, and put the economy in the state it is in today. When you came, the debt was 120 billion. You're living at a debt of 761 billion. Never they will say it has never happened in Ghana before. This one too has never happened in Ghana before. I will transform Ghana in 18 months. Roland, has Ghana been transformed in 18 months? Has it?
Transformation is too edgy.
No, has Ghana been transformed in 18 months? Let's say that let's say that look. Let's even say that you had 8 years. Within that 8 years, in those 8 years, how have you transformed the country? Because you see, all the figures that George is talking about, the people don't look at those figures, mubotom, our pockets. Can we afford X? Can't we afford Y? Can we send our children to hospital when they are sick? Can we do X? Can we do Y? The people look at their pocket, and really, the MPP shouldn't be talking with the kind of election and the election results we've had. They cannot be talking. They cannot defend anything they've done. With the massive gap, they shouldn't. Let me go on. I will operate a family. I would not operate a family and friends government. No be nepotism with the see. How many family members are in the Akufo-Addo government? Can you not list them? Can you not list them? So you come and tell us you would not, you will not operate a family and friends government. But the people of Ghana think you've operated a family and friends government. People of Ghana, I think so. I will make the Kole Lagoon and Odo River tourist sites. Are they tourist sites? Odo, is it a tourist site? Kole Lagoon, is it a tourist site? When it rains, don't we still have the problems they came to meet? Has it changed? I will give each constituency $1 million every year. Do you see it?
It was operated through the development authority.
Did you see it? The development authority, did they say they received 1 million every year? 8 years. Did they? Because local government was taken to Flagstaff House. Decisions of local government was made at Flagstaff House. So it left local government barren. They couldn't take any major decisions because it was being controlled in Flagstaff House. I will arrest the dollar. The yo-yo of the dollar and the exchange rate jumping like a yo-yo everywhere. Was it Kenoforiata's interest to make sure that it didn't jump the way it was jumping? And business people, the AGI, kept telling government about the exchange rate. Did Kenoforiata bother? Did he bother to do anything about it? And then George says, oh, we are turning the corner. What do you call it is coming back. At an exchange, at an inflation rate of what? What's the inflation rate? 23. And it's good.
No, he said he went to 50.
Wait. 23 is good.
George says that from where they took it to 54%, 23 is good.
54%, 30%, 20%, 23%, 17%, 16%. It's not good. It doesn't help the economy. Inflation needs to be in single digits. And that's the responsibility of the president and the minister of finance to do. Have they done it? They shouldn't clap their hands and tell us that 23% is good. It's not good. We can't do business.
That's mediocrity, like I said.
We can't do business. They shouldn't tell us that.
They even took us to 54%.
The hikes.
And they want us to praise them.
Have they arrested the dollar? They haven't arrested the dollar. Where's the CD? Still dancing like a yo-yo.
16, 17.
16, 17. It's bad.
The Bank of Ghana says it's
I said
14%.
it is bad. We don't need exchange rate in double figures. We need exchange rate in single figures, and we need a situation where the cedi is stabilized. People can invest in the cedi. Go to South Africa, and they will show you how to do it. You go to South Africa today, you want to change, you want the dollar. You give them, go and change.
Into rand.
Into rand. That is where we want to be. The strength of the cedi is what is most important. Have they been able to achieve it? No. they haven't been able to achieve it. I will make the hikes in fuel prices will be a thing of the past. Recently, haven't fuel prices gone up? When you haven't done exploration to production in 8 years, that ask me, exploration to production, 8 years. When what? Your refinery is on its last legs. And then you gladly walk into a Chinese refinery and clap your hands that they've been able to build it, and yours is what? Yours is rotting away. And you do absolutely nothing about it. Don't we save a lot of money if we do things for ourselves? Don't we? So if we have a refinery, we have oil, aren't we supposed to try as much as possible to do our own? Have we? You came in and you bastardized the government for not doing that. Did you do it? I will build 111 district hospitals in 18 months. How many of those hospitals have been built so far? How many hospitals? How many have been commissioned so far? 111 hospitals. But let me tell you, you know, there was a report that came out before the president commissioned or talked about this 111 hospitals as to what really do the health service need. And the report indicated that we need equipment in our hospitals. Equipment in our hospitals. Do we have equipment in our hospitals? Kenofurata, when he was sick, where did he go?
US.
Was he treated here? He jumped on a plane, to US because he could afford that. The ordinary man, can they afford it? Yes, we need hospitals. But if you have hospitals that don't have no equipment in the hospitals, how can people be treated? I will build 350 new secondary schools from scratch. Has it happened? Yes. Let's give it to them. STEM schools, they have built. That one I give to them. When you see the quality of STEM schools that have been built, fantastic. But is it going to be easy to convert? Those children who are in STEM schools today, they are doing wonders. No two ways about it. That one I give to them. But what about the rest? What about the others? We will never go to the IMF for a bailout. Did we go to the IMF? Are we in the IMF?
Yeah, we went and restructured.
You see, the major challenge with President Akufo-Addo is the fact that he says nice things, but does things ultra-virus. Now, I'll give you an example. LGBTQI, when the law, Parliament took it to the president, what did he tell us? He said, I'm not going to sign. Remember, there are processes and procedures that you use when a bill is brought to you. Were those processes and procedures followed? No. I'm waiting for the Supreme Court to make a decision. The Supreme Court has made a decision. He is leaving a few days' time. Has he signed? That is the first thing he should tell us when he comes to address us at 10 o'clock.
The state of the nation.
Yes, yes. He should tell us. Because he promised us. He said to us, I'm waiting for a verdict from the Supreme Court. And what the Supreme Court says, I'll base it on. And if you still do not agree with what the Supreme Court has said, then send it back with your nose and tell us why you haven't. Because he's pleasing his friends. Simplicity. He cannot do it because of the type of friends he has out there. And he prefers to please his friends than to please us Ghanaians, our president. So, he should start from here. He should start from those things that he hasn't been able to. Look, the amount of money that came into this country, President Akufo-Addo could have done more. And that is the he could have the quantum of money that President Akufo-Addo has had in his government, he could have done more. COVID alone, how much did we get? Maybe $1 billion.
Over 3 billion.
Okay, all right.
Over 3 billion from the various Wood institutions.
Where did it go? What happened to it?
According to the special audit that was undertaken by the Auditor General, there were extreme misappropriations and then also flouting of the Procurement Act in terms of the approval for the supplies and other undertakings for which the money was used for?
They gave some to their
Look,
parliamentary candidates.
Look,
That was also there.
look. If an Afrobarometer tells you that we do not trust your government, you do all you can to build confidence back. At this material moment, is the MPP with this election try to build confidence back? If I were an MPP member, I will not come on a panel and try and defend. What I will try and do is to build confidence with the people. Because the more you try to defend, the more he.
You don't know that.
The more you try to defend, the more no why he. Because it makes it look as if you know it all. You don't know it all. The people of Ghana have told you, you do not know it all, Mr. President. Because of the state, the mismanagement that has gone on. Some of the things that Ghanaians look at and say, the way they bad the bank DDEP, if we in a buy year, E-levy, I didn't say savings. Let him come and explain. Let him come and explain. To end all, you see, it's unfortunate, but the kind of humility, and this is advice to President Mahama, that position of being a president is a position of humility. It's not a position of pomposity and arrogance. It's not a position of where you walk over the people and you take private jets and the people say don't take private jets and you continue to take private jets. Don't care what the people think. Don't care. You set up COVID, which you did well, but it is your family and friends who benefit. Country doesn't benefit. So, where is the humility of President Akufo-Addo? I want to see that humility shown today at State of Nation address. If he comes and tells us, posterity will judge what I have done. Will posterity judge you for the negative or the positive? Will it?
On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you
4.
rate?
I won't let you go on. 4.
Because I didn't end the question.
I know the question. What's the percentage? 4. Because he could have done more. President Akufo-Addo could have done more. And I'm telling you, that is where it pains. And the fact that President Akufo-Addo is the only politician in this country, and I continue to say it, who transcends the old and the new. So he knows what happened in the old, and he knows what happened in the new. He could have been that kind of leader who would all clap for him, even in his death. Now, when he's gone, we will see. It's also posterity to judge it. Yeah. Let's move on.
So George, do you think that the verdict at the polls really is commensurate to the criticism about how badly or not the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia-led government governed over the last 8 years?
You see, I wouldn't agree. Ghanaians have spoken, but I'm surprised that my colleagues here, we are speaking on the state of the economy, and none of them is quoting any data, and just speaking and condemning government on matters. Economy, you cannot speak on economy and you don't talk about.
We've already dealt with the issues about data.
Yes. So
what data are you
I'm
talking about?
surprised, you know,
Which
when
data
you talk economy, I've given data and they are condemning it, and I thought they would have given alternative data. Okay, that George, what you are saying is not right. So what is defending? I'm stating the facts and the obvious. The fact that we lost the election doesn't mean what we did, you know, we're not done. Okay? The fact that we lost election doesn't mean free SHS wasn't there and didn't benefit anybody. The fact that we lost election doesn't mean a coffee juice factory is not up and producing. And over 169 of them have been up and working. Okay? Look, we took tax exemption to Parliament to support some of these factories. What happened? There were challenges and difficulties in Parliament. The opposition felt they were not going to support that. Okay? How do you help grow young industries to grow when you don't give them incentives that will make them stand on their feet? That is the, you know, what the investment arena needs. Okay, so the fact that you oppose it and the Ghanaian voted against it doesn't mean these things are not happening. It doesn't mean, you know, Agenda 111, we're not started and at various stages. Okay, correct me. I think the president commissioned one. Is it the trader one or so? Yes, some were commissioned. Okay, so these are issues that we need to look at. And wait, excuse me. Some of this spoke as if they spoke as if.
You said we should speak to data. The Agenda 111 project, how many hospitals have been completed?
No, I said, I think about, yes, have been commissioned. Okay, and the president said,
I didn't say commissional, I said completed.
Yeah, no, the president, that's what I was coming to. The president said he will not. Yes, the moment the president commissions in the hospital is operational. He doesn't, no, the president doesn't commission empty buildings. He doesn't do that. Anytime before he will go and commission, it's operational.
So it's not completed.
It's completed. And commissioned.
A hospital is a place where the equipment are there.
Please. No, yes, I said it's commissioned. The president, Nanadu, will not commission a hospital when it is not completed and operational.
So how
That's
many,
what I'm telling you. Yes.
So how many have been completed?
No. I think off the top of my head, I think about 3 or 4. Okay. But he commissioned about. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That what his policy is, before we commission it, it should be operational. Test everything and let's see. Once you are satisfied that the system is in order, I'll come and commission it. That's what he did. He commissioned about 6 or 8 hospitals. Out of that, about 3 or 4 were Agenda 111. So that is how it is. You said we didn't equip hospitals. University of Ghana Medical Center that they built, about 95% completed. Who equipped them, completed those things, and made them operational?
Because I remember at the beginning of
made them operational.
Because I remember
95% complete was what? When we took over, it was 95% complete. So ask anybody. You are the media.
I remember the height of
God.
Before the COVID period.
Yes.
There was the argument.
That's where I was going.
There was the argument in the media that was rife.
Yes.
Why is the hospital completed was not being functional? And then the Ministry of Health did say that they didn't have equipment and standby generators.
Thank you.
And indeed, I remember at the time I was doing part-time at Joy. I was then working with the Just Point group at the time. So we went to the UGMC, and apparently the equipment were there and rotten.
It was equipment.
Yeah.
If you brought it, you commissioned out and fix them. What is that?
Please. So the reality is that those appropriations cannot be made.
Yes.
Now,
You cannot say
one of the reasons why the Akufo-Addo-led government was voted for, and there was the buy-in from industry, was that the government was going to move the state of the economy from taxation to production.
Yes.
Indeed, some of the well-loved phrases or sentences that the president used at the time, prior to 2017, for the campaign was done. I'm going to move the economy from a Gajazbiagan economy to... You remember that?
It is a transition.
Okay. Would you say that with the implementation of 1D, 1F, one village, one dam, a constituency receiving $1 million each year for the 8 years.
It didn't happen.
Okay. Would you say that?
Don't make it sound
would you say that we've achieved that import substitution, etc.?
Yes.
Affected our import bill?
Yeah, you know, we set up these 1 district, 1 factories. Some are up operational even today. You can go B5 in the Ningo area and other places.
B5 is
no, he took advantage. They weren't there. When the president went to commission, he took advantage. Your man was the minister. So please, please. When you were speaking, I was here. I was taking notes. I'm sorry. You get it. So please, let's do that. Thank you. So these, and if there was a company, a Casapreco company that took advantage of it, it's a policy. So you take advantage of it. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Okay. So that's it. Where we the development authorities, where the bodies, Coastal, Middle Belt, Northern, were tasked with the responsibility of implementing the one constituency, 1 million thing. Okay, and they put up certain infrastructure. They did needs assessment, and based on that, the priority projects were put in place for some of them. Water issue, market issues, toilet sanitation facilities, and co were put up by these development authorities. Okay, across the nation. You know, yes, some will make the argument that it cannot be said that they got $1 million per year for the 8 years.
But
right?
they should be getting, because that's a promise.
It's not going to be given to you that take it. And that's why they established the authorities to help implement your needs that, you know, they did needs assessment. Yes.
The sum of.
Yes.
The sum of.
I don't.
The $1 million.
Yes. That is supposed to be.
And that's commensurate to
yes. So
the toilets and those things that were built by.
You can make the
because
argument.
the development authority, they built toilets and some other fishing. Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't just say anything without being questioned.
Oh, no, he's questioning me. Okay. The parallel engagement is what I'm saying.
Okay. Please go ahead.
So once it is brought, the argument is made that they don't agree 1 million per year for the 8 consecutive years could be the case. That is something that we can engage constructively on. But the authorities put things in place, development and co, based on the needs assessment done in the districts or the constituencies that were affected. So that is one thing that we need to look at. And in making the assessment, so you say what Lawyer Dantua said and co. He didn't talk about the benefits that Ghanaians derived as far as education improvement is concerned. He talked about the STEM and co, but the free education and co. Then some are talking about, my brother is talking about resource and co. No, some have done fantastic. If you're doing assessment, the 4 core subjects, they are rating between, 52% and 66% or 68%. You get it? Hitherto, they were not making those averages, okay? So that is very important. I don't know what other way somebody can make assessment of education performance, quality, without putting resource in the equation. I don't understand it. That the outturns and the results that are coming out is inconsequential as far as making assessment of the quality of performance is concerned, okay? Somebody moved from Ghana, Adesu, a rural school, went to the United Kingdom and still made the first classes in his
I don't understand. Are you saying before the implementation of free education, people are not coming from villages?
No, listen to me. No.
Were you born in a rural area?
They are saying the quality is gone.
Where were you born?
How can somebody go to a school in Addis?
Where were you born?
Come on. That's not the matter we are discussing. How can somebody go to school in Addis, okay, and be able to make the straight A's, go outside of Ghana
George,
and still perform? And you say, I'm talking about the average in course.
You've talked about it. You've talked about the averages.
Move on. Yes, thank you.
But please.
Oh, no.
Before free SHS.
You give them time to be making those things.
Before free SHS, people were moving from rural areas.
Arguments and co.
Please. Before free SHS, people were moving from rural areas and achieving the highest of their objectives, goals in life.
Yes.
Indeed, some of the ministers we have today, even the young ones,
I'm talking that
they move from less privileged background.
Yes.
Okay. Which school did you teach?
Dr. Duchum moved from Jati and moved to where he is. He is one of the fantastic ministers of education.
So why do you say that?
No, I'm saying, I used one example. Okay. That's why I didn't choose my school. The school I was teaching in advancement school, no, because it's a normal trajectory. Okay, but somebody from Adesu Senior High School makes it to the school in the UK, Southwark, and moves to
there was nothing like that.
Please,
what is this?
I'll give you 2 minutes to wrap up. Please, no interruption.
Thank you.
I think that these are some of the things that
so you need to cite example. I cannot be talking about all the issues, and I gave you the average pass rate for the 4 core subjects. You
didn't answer my question on the import substitution, which was the intent for the industrialization.
Of course, no. I told you that once.
You didn't.
I spoke about B5 and co. Once the industries are in place, a Econfi is up and running. Other, industries are there. Okay. They needed support. We needed to get them tax exemptions and co. We saw the challenges we faced in Parliament, but that notwithstanding, some of them are working. We said we are Tisikaso and so accommodate. That's why the president brought in this GISDEC and JIDEC. Okay, Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Development Corporation and Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Company, so that they will, you know, maximize the use of our mineral resources, apart from the gold, diamond, and coal, these two areas, so that we can move that. And they've done, Mr. Ansah and co have done fantastic job there. These are not immediate issues that will give us results. They are medium to long term. You get it? And that is the vision of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That's why he's saying, look, posterity is going to judge him and judge him fairly. Okay? There are difficulties now. Nobody is. And he said we didn't admit it. We admitted it. The finance minister then, Ken Uforiata, had a press conference and said we're in difficult time. My last one, Roland. They all spoke as if we're in normal times in the economy. The first 4 years, we had single-digit inflation, consistent, growth consistent, averaging 7%. Thereafter, when COVID struck and Russia-Ukraine struck, he says where the bombs are dropping is inconsequential. When your importation is hinged on those places and you're having challenges, it's definitely going to affect your economy, okay? And so, did we have exogenous factors hitting our economy? Yes. Did it impact on us? Yes. And so the things were not the normal ways. And so it affected us. So and then we admitted that we're in difficult times. Okay? So these are issues that we need to admit and then put in proper perspective. You don't speak as if everything was normal.
Note it down,
and the last one, over 13,000 kilometers of roads have been constructed. The fact that Ghanaians disagreed that these things doesn't mean the data is not factual.
Right.
They are there.
You are speaking data.
They are there. You can disagree.
One of the cardinal points which your promises made was that we're going to have these industrialization policies implemented, 1D, 1F, one village, one dam, because it's supposed to be a value chain. And I did a quote yesterday, I'll put that again. The Ghana Trade Advocacy Network, just before the elections, they did indicate that 14 tomatoes, we import $1 billion. Rice, $800 million. Sugar and confectionery, the sweets, $300 million. Flour for bread and or pie and all those things, $600 million. Burkina Faso here, we import $100 million of tomatoes, fresh tomatoes from Burkina Faso. It's a very Sahelian landscape, topographically. Fish, $245 million. Poultry and meat, $400 million. If we had an industrial policy intended to do import substitution, in your mind, why do we still have these? And how does that reflect on the success or not of such a policy or policies?
Roland, before I answer your question, he talked about us all here, apart from him speaking to statistics, and that we did not speak to statistics. Let me tell him, I don't believe in statistics that do not reflect in the lives of the people. What I believe in is human development theory, where you would get up in the morning, then you realize that there's now water for you, and water is flowing. I'm not interested in how many pipelines you have laid when there's no water coming into my house. Now, don't you see that what you have just read completely indicts our claim of one district, one factory, completely indicts our claim of one village, one dam, because, and even planting for food and jobs, the MPP is good at giving names, catchy names to their failed programs. They are good at that. But those programs end up failing the people of this country. So if you had a very good policy like one district, one industry, then that should have been giving jobs to people. You get the point? Now your employment rate is rising. Don't sit here, unemployment rate is rising. Don't sit here and tell me that it's giving jobs. If your unemployment rate is rising, you can't be telling me it's giving jobs. Because that's supposed to absorb the unemployed. So if your unemployment rate is going up, then your policy has failed to provide jobs to people. The next point is food inflation went very high under a policy of planning for foods and jobs. And then, so you begin to find out whether these policies that they say they have put in place are not conduit for siphoning state resources. Somebody told me the other day that we say corruption is fighting Akufo-Addo. Why he told me that it's not true. It's rather Akufo-Addo and his family have joined corruption to fight Ghanaians. That's what has happened. Akufo-Addo, his appointees, have joined corruption to fight Ghanaians. So if you have these policies, why would you be importing tomatoes? Do you know that Burkina Faso used to buy tomatoes from Ghana? I'm from the Upper East region. I know what I'm talking about. We used to produce the tomatoes, and Burkina Faso will come and buy. Today, it's the other way around. And so, these policies, one village, one dam, I think Hawa Kumsi herself said that they were pawns, isn't it? Because the amount of money used couldn't have done a dam. And so, you go to those places, and during the dry season, those ponds or dams are dried up. It is not for the lack of trying. They have tried, but it is about their inability to do things right that has brought us to where we are. And then accompanying that is corruption in the execution of those programs. And so, Roland, we have gotten to a point of no return, but once the people of Ghana have decided to change the government, the next government has a lot of work to do to turn around the fortunes of this country. Anything short of that, I think this government has failed woefully. You see, when you ask your panelists about this government and its economic development paradigms or successes, you will notice that one will speak for a long time, will forget about one of the rot, is the other one who will remember. Then you will say that I should have said that. Yeah, I don't know whether those of you who are panelists are always faced with that. The rot in this argument is so much that you know them, but when you are recounting, you forget some of them. And when your colleague panelists mention it, then you say, oh, I should have also said that. Because the administration didn't come for the good of this country. Look at this Akufo-Addo. And I hear they have put together an 11-member committee to go around to find out the cause of that.
It's led by the former speaker.
To find out the cause of that.
I'm told that as one of the appropriate things they have to do is to make sure they bring people like the fantastic Solomon Owusu back into the fold of the MPP.
I wish them well.
So they'll take a look at why they lost and then why they were fragmented.
Yes, and I'm helping them. Majority of the reasons will be centered on Akufo-Addo alone. 95%. How can you, a president, go around be ordering chiefs to get up and greet you? What is this? Isn't it so vulgar, so disingenuous and disrespectful? Ordering chiefs to get up and greet you. Who Akufo-Addo? Who are you? Huh? You are just a human being like them.
He's the president.
And so, you Akufo-Addo, you have to beg the people of this country to vote you into office. Then when they are complaining, then you say that, the Kumasi people, he told them. Why? Kwabre. Why? And so,
one of the largest constituencies that
he's and I'm helping them to the committee. He's the God teacher that he assumed is one of the reasons why Ghanaians voted against the party. So they shouldn't go far in diagnosing why they lost. Majority of it. And his inaction when it comes to corruption, his inaction. And when it comes to dealing with
principle.
He said that, but now writing love letters to corrupt officials, say that dear my loved one, that's a woman's name, Cecilia Adapa, I know you'll be exonerated. Can you imagine? You will be exonerated for what? How did he know that he'll be exonerated? And true to his words, true to his words, true to his words, didn't the Attorney General cancel that case? Today, the Attorney General says that that case is closed. And so, if you want to talk about Akufo-Addo, you begin to speak in ways, and yesterday I heard one of whether you hate him. Nobody hates him. Because we've never had a president who is like that too. We've never had a president who behaves like he behaved. And so that's why sometimes when we are speaking, we speak with pain and not envy.
So let me give you 4 minutes to wrap up.
Yes,
do you think
yes.
that the expectation of the people that you should come and be magnanimous should be the content of this last State of the Nation address?
Absolutely, he has to come and tell the people the truth. It shouldn't be lengthy. You want to know the state of the economy. If he is coming to present the state of the economy, that fits or suits his circumstance, then so be it. But if he's going to be generous and be truthful to the people, he must know that he's living in a country that is economically not sound.
Bankrupt?
Bankrupt. Nothing is working. I mean, this was a president in 2016. You remember when he was coming, he went and drank, what's the name, Calipo. Well, whether the Calipo company is even working. At the time, Calipo was loyal to the system.
I think it was 50 pesos also.
Go and check.
How much is Calipo now?
Are they even producing?
They don't produce it.
5 cities.
I don't think they are still producing. Find out.
They do.
You understand? So he has really messed all of us up, and he has to be frank with us and ask for forgiveness. He is saying that we are going to miss him. And the last thing that he did that surprised me was giving himself the greatest president of all time. I was shocked.
The award ceremony.
The presenters didn't even believe what they were announcing. They were laughing. I watched them closely. All of them, they were hiding their faces. Greatest president or the great outstanding Ghanaian of our time. Yes, of course, in terms of how he has messed up the country, you could say he's the greatest or outstanding Ghanaian.
Oh, how?
Oh, yes, if you go and put $58 million into a hole, destroy almost 9-acre plot of land, remove or relocate judges at a cost to the state. You say that outstanding president or outstanding Ghanaian. I will understand it from that. And if you go to programs and be telling chiefs, get up, beat me. And what even annoys me and shocks me is that the bodyguard that has been doing that lead that invasion, he himself is a chief.
And the bodyguard is a chief?
Yes, he is a chief. So if today, as now he's retiring from being a bodyguard, and in a function, President-elect John Mahama go and see him and say, get up, would he be happy? So it's a problem. The same measure you were talking about at the Shiashi or Baoleshi area that he was asking the chief together. There was a national anthem being played. The daughter was busy on phone, standing right by him. Why did he tell him?
He didn't see that.
Tell her. He did not tell the daughter anything because the daughter was above the national anthem, but the chief was not. Meanwhile, we all know the chief, the way and manner they dress. That's why when they are in public space, they are not able to what? Get up. That is what we were faced with. In terms of the 12-member committee or 11-member, I've seen the list is 12.
12.
Actually, they are the problem of the day.
I don't
There has to be a committee to investigate that very committee itself.
The committee that's supposed to investigate the reasons
absolutely,
why
they are the problem of the day. Go and see the composition. Professor Michael K, was he not the chairman of the vetting committee of the aspirants? Go and check his record there. And is he telling you he wasn't in the known as to why the party was going to lose, and indeed they lost by this hefty margin? Go and check the name. I can take the names one by one. Professor Yantia Moabed, remember when they made the recommendation that first and second ladies should be paid? That was one of the reasons why the Ghanaians voted massively against the MPP. That in the midst of our poverty, you were even suggesting that we should go and pay the first and second ladies for sitting in their homes. And you say what? They have all the reasons. And they are not engendering any confidence in the Ghanaian that this new patriotic party can do anything meaningful. Look, the leadership that they have chosen. Minority leader. Someone leads you into a battle to obtain the lowest percentage since 1996 as a majority leader. And then you retain him as your minority leader. Do you want to have 0 in the next elections? Someone leads you as a chief whip. Arrogant.
Was that part of the topic?
You choose the person to be your chief whip. Do you want to get 0? Indeed, if they don't take a per my statistics or my mathematical background, from 169 to 137 to now what? 79 or 81? 76. If they don't take a by series and have you done series and sequence before? If you are going to compute this figure, they'll get 25 MPs in the next election. By which time the movement for change would have taken over. And let me assure the people of this country that the movement is very much focused. Our candidate, Mr. Lanchemanti, is very focused. All the bombardiers within the movement, we remain resolute on better.
You are still going to play a role in the politics of. You will not go back to the MPP.
What are you going to do there? What was the name of our movement? What was the name of our movement?
China beat you. Yeah, right.
Was it no movement for change? Has there been change? That is what we are looking for. Change has come, and we are going to, as it were, monitor this government carefully.
Let me hold on to you because I want to ask you a very
soon you'll be okay.
climaxing, appropriate question. Let's go to Parliament, gauge the mood before the chamber, and Eric Egbeta is there. The President will be presenting before Parliament the last of his State of the Nation address. And then, of course, that last also means that he's transitioning or bowing out. And we're just gauging the mood there. Eric, what's the latest there?
And so we're live here from Parliament, where preparations are still quite fast underway for the President's final State of the Nation address, which you've largely reiterated and spoken to. If you come to the chamber right now, a host of dignitaries, particularly from the diplomatic community, all seated, and awaiting the full complement of arrival of members of Parliament, as well as the President. We get the indication as well that the President-elect, John Dramani Mahama, as well, is expected to be here today as part of this final ceremony, which will herald President Akufo-Addo's last days in office. But at this particular point in time, really, if you go back onto the floor of the House, you realize that there's been a lot of preparatory work being done earlier on when we came around. There's been security detail which has come through, the bomb squad amongst many others who swept through the floor of the chamber. And the expectation is that shortly, members of Parliament will begin to make their way here. Just where the Speaker mostly sits, you find as well the array of individuals expected to be present here today. That big golden seat for the President, the one immediately to his left, will be taken over by the Vice President. And the Speaker will also be seated, as well as the far end. To the right of the President, the Chief Justice will be expected to be there. There have been sound checks going through over the last few minutes as well. Media and all other interested individuals all present and accounted for. Traditional authority as well, all here, and they continue to come in their numbers as well as we continue to await really the arrival of members of Parliament first. And then, as well, we can begin to expect the Speaker, as well as the President, the Chief Justice, the Vice President, amongst many others. There's still the expectation that a host of the diplomatic community who've been invited to be a part of this ceremony will continue to make their way here. But as you know, these really are the last days of President Akufo-Addo's government. Quite a lot of expectation of him with respect to what he will be saying in this final address. If you want to be able to catch glimpses, you could be saying that his New Year message to the good people of Ghana, you can begin to trace really a lot more of the things that he will be saying here, touting his achievement amongst many other things. The reception from members of parliament as well will be quite interesting for all to see. Remember that the 8th parliament has been quite hung in its nature, 137 each with just that one independent MP, given the NPP side the majority in the House. It will be interesting what reception the president will receive today as he delivers his final State of the Nation address as well. But Komla Kluche is my colleague who's been covering Parliament all through the 8th Parliament up until this point. He's here with me as well. Komla, the final State of the Nation address, really, you've been here and you've done this longer. Walk us through what we should be expecting when the House is full and proceedings will be expected to start.
Well, nothing really different from what the situation has been in the past. I mean, Parliament sits at 10 in the forenoon, and so when the MPs come, the Speaker would walk in. When Speaker walks in, you would expect other guests would have been seated at the time. This is a special occasion, the very last of the State of the Nation address the President needs to give, and this is a stewardship of what he's done for the 8 years, not just for this one. He's done quite a number in the past, but this is the very last one, which will be a stewardship of what he's done for the rest of the 8 years. And so when the Speaker, walks in, when Parliament officially, starts, then by that time we would have to wait and first, okay, so this is how it's going to be like. When MPs and guests are all seated, the President would also come in, but he will not walk in when the Speaker is already there. The President will have to be ushered in by both leaders together with the Speaker and the deputies. They will go outside and then they will usher the President in. When he sits, then the House will officially start. But what it is with this is like it's become a norm, that the President needs to give. And for me, it's not going to be anything too different from what he's done. But I am really expecting him to say quite a number of things in terms of what he has been able to do. I know there's absolutely no way this State of the Nation address would be without the free SHS. It would not be without his infrastructure that he's done. It will also not be without the economy. Mind you, he even gave a hint of the recovery of the economy at the inauguration of the transitional team, which the President-elect said, hold on, let's get into the books first. And it's even getting to appear as though the situation may not necessarily be as he painted, but yes, of course, he would also have to say to us what he is bequeathing to the next administration in terms of road infrastructure, in terms of what the state of the economy is actually. My expectation is that, yes, of course, at this point, yes, he's exiting, he's done his non-renewable 8-year term, and so there's that expectation that he needs to come out in a form of uniting the country and, trying to bring everybody on board, because at this point, that's basically what is needed. The work ahead is quite necessary for him to bring everybody on board. And so, in terms of what the House will be like, of course, you should also be expecting heckling, especially from the minority who, in a few days will go to the other side of the aisle and all that. But, yes, of course, Parliament appears to be very ready. When you even go outside, you can see the readiness, especially of state security, the police, the military, fire service, and all the para-state security services of the like. So you can see their readiness. Yes, of course, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces will be speaking for the very last time to the nation through the State of the Nation address. And so the expectation is quite high from the side of not just MPs, but also the ordinary people who would sit at home and watch and see where he is left or where he will be leaving the country.
Right, Komla, thank you. And so that's Komla Kluche is my colleague here, and so that's what it is like, particularly at this point in time. We here are continuing to monitor the processes as proceedings will be expected to start a lot later this morning. But for now, preparation still underway as we await the arrival of a lot more dignitaries, and then as well the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, who will be delivering that final State of the Nation address. Back to you in the studio, Roland, but we're still here and we're bringing you details as and when it becomes necessary.
And more importantly, we will be going back there to give you the previews for this last State of the Nation address. It's very important for all of us to put all the matters into perspective. And let me just read a couple of the messages that have been coming in. Let me say good morning to you, Kafui Yaudo. I wish you all the best for the day. Thank you very much as well. He says that, look, the things that have happened over the last 8 years need to be corrected. That is why a reset is very important. And Kafui Yaudo, thank you very much for the message. And let me just also read this one coming from many other related people. But more importantly, Naneo Sapong. Naneo Sapong is was an aide to Alan Kojo Chairman of the Movement for Change. And he says that the things that have happened in Ghana need to be put into perspective. The politics of our country needs to be properly analyzed. In the Fourth Republic, we've only had the MPP and NDC rule. But the reality is that we have to do a proper assessment to see whether the two parties have really contributed their quota to the development of the people of Ghana. That is the most important thing. For us, the Movement for Change, we believe that we needed to take a strong stance against impunity and the maladministration that have been exhibited by the two leading parties. And they need... Now, Michael Che, good morning to you, and thank you always for giving us straight content as well. Prince Minka, okay, of Radio XYZ. Thank you very much, Prince. Long-standing journalist, I've known him, I think, for the better part of the day. And for our career, actually. And he has sent a message, and he says, please, correct George Yisi. The president commissioned the Bank of Ghana. Is it completed? He commissioned Obechebi Interchange. Is it completed? Quote me. And then also in 2008, there was the global economic crunch. There was Ebola that hit West Africa in 2015. And even more important, commodity prices across the globe, where Ghana earns a lot of revenue, were also down. Is that not a crisis? Raffle Boateng says, the Nanado government may not have done well at the polls, but certainly when it comes to all the things that have been achieved, they should also be given credit, and posterity will judge Nanado. Kojo Chumbuafo, Engineer Kojo Chumbuafo, good morning to you. How are you? He says, Roland, good morning and Happy New Year. It's mind-boggling that after such an embarrassingly humiliating loss that handed their opponent their biggest seat, Dom Kwabenya, George Yisi, still is sitting on television, true to type, spewing the same piffle that lost them the election. Single-issue campaigning has been conscripted to the dustbin by Ghanaians. Akufo-Addo is leaving behind a bankrupt, debt-ridden nation that cannot, how do you say cannot? That cannot pay its debts, and a populace without their savings because he stole 12 billion to pay for Ken Ofori-Attah's cha-cha. If the MPP National Council, which has been tasked to find out why the loss is watching this broadcast. They should wrap up and tender their report after watching. Engineer, can you chomp my partners?
Mischief.
And then we have, but look, just wrap up for me. And my question is this to you.
That's the president's friend, though. He's always hitting his stomach.
Oh, Nanado but having enumerated the things we have about the state of the economy, what really is confronting the president-elect, the John Mahama Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman government? What is confronting them?
Let me start by using the word that they always used, unprecedented. Unprecedented. And unfortunately, unprecedented to do with this government is in the negative. When George talks about single inflation when they came in, were we not on the IMF at that point? Could they have done anything otherwise than stick to the conditions of the IMF? When we now came out of IMF, what happened? One of the major things that I feel is facing this government is galamsey. Let me give you some statistics. Over 19,000 hectares of cocoa farms have been destroyed by illegal gold mining, equivalent to about 35,849 football fields. 13 major rivers, Tano, Ankobra, Brim, Pra, Densu, Black Volta, destroyed by galamsey, are undrinkable with little aquatic life. 8 out of 10 chronic kidney diseases are from galamsey communities. 50% of treated water lost due to 600% rise in morbidity. Ghana may need to import water by 2030. Birth deformities reported in galamsey communities. 3.5% of agricultural land, 4,760 hectares, i.e. the size of Greater Accra, destroyed by galamsey. Source, Cocoa Board, MOH, USAID, FAO. This is a major elephant that is facing the incoming government. The economy is key. How they stabilize the cedi. And when I say stabilize the cedi, that the cedi is stable for the next 2 to 3 years. The movement is not erratic. The exchange rate is able to come down to single digits. You see, one of the major challenges of this government, when they brought in one district, one factory, they should have looked at those areas where we had capital flight. Those things that we needed to import money and concentrated on those types of factories. Unfortunately, that wasn't done. It's up to this government to look major at export. How we add value, and not only export primary products, adding value to it. That's why when you look at the time frame President Mahama has, 4 years, he's got to be able to prioritize in such a way that the next government that comes in after him can move this country forward. Very important. Number 2 or number 3, anybody in the NDC who has presidential ambitions, no matter his ability, no matter his capacity, don't take him, don't take her. Don't even go down that road.
You mean they should relegate their aspirations to the background?
No, he shouldn't even decide to take them on. Why? The moment they come in, the first thing they'll be looking at is how do I now secure myself to stand as president? And the job given to them would not happen. It is the people he takes to surround around him that would be the problem. Because some of the things I've heard President Mahama say, I think they are good things, whereby I, myself, as president, will not be able to do all. It will take Ghanaians to help me do what I have to do. And he recognizes that this particular vote is not a vote for NDC, it is the people's vote. He recognizes that. And if you listen to him, he keeps warning his people, be very mindful how you celebrate this achievement that we are supposed to have got. It is not an achievement for us, it's an achievement for the people of Ghana. And when they talk about, oh, there's peace in Ghana, there's peace in Ghana, the peace in Ghana doesn't come from government. The peace in Ghana comes from the people. It is the people who have elected not to do wrong, but to do right in times of mayhem. The government plays no role. The government plays no role. Look at what the Electoral Commissioner is doing. Jesus. Look at what the Electoral Commissioner is doing. You think that won't create a challenge if the people wanted to go by that? No. The people don't want to go by that. What they should really look at is to make sure that for nothing at all, and it's going to be a difficult thing. It's one of the most difficult things that's going to happen in terms of workers' salaries. Workers' salaries. Because the workers will bring their demands. However, let me tell workers, the unions, please, where we stand today, the country doesn't have the resources. So in as much, we don't have it. You people have squandered it. 23%. I said, oh, please, 20, please.
You were here supporting
that.
Harassing.
No, it's not being fair.
Don't go down that line.
Please continue.
Don't go down that. I can only take my position from the voting of the people of Ghana. Look, if the votes were very close, then we would have said, hey, they tried. Look at the margin that you've been able to give. Apart from the NDC giving a majority, you've also given them 2/3. That they don't even need to go to the president to pass law. They can pass law on their own.
Okay.
What does that tell you?
When you were making the submission on Galamsey, there's somebody I know who works in the industry who is saying he can confidently say that there are involvement of government appointees in the Galamsey activity. So how should the John Mahama administration deal with this as part of measures to sanitize the industry?
Look, where Galamsey is concerned, people won't stop it. So you've got to regularize it. You've got to put it in a formal way where the youth, if they want to do mining, they can go into mining, but do it effectively, do it better. First of all, ban mining on water bodies. That's the first point of call. Ban it. Anybody who tries, take them on. Look, when President Akufo-Addo banned mining, small-scale mining, over a certain duration, what happened? We saw the turbidity of the water coming back. That is the most important thing. Right now, the only place where we have safe water is in the Volta.
Even though the black water is polluted because there's mining up there.
There's mining up there. And so that's the first point of call, our water bodies. First point, because without water, ain't have life. And we can't import water. So for President Mahama, that should be the first thing he looks at.
Are you advocating ban on mining?
I'm advocating
a moratorium.
I'm advocating a moratorium on mining.
A temporary moratorium.
Yes, where we can put it right. Because even those who have small-scale licenses are doing Galamsey. And if anybody, be it NDC, be it MPP, be it CPP, be it PNC, be it movement, is found to be complicit in a Galamsey, take them on and expose them. President Mahama should be prepared to expose people, even if those people are your classmates. Expose them. Yes. Even if those people are your classmates, expose them. Because that is why the people have voted for you. And let me tell you something. The people won't have patience to wait for 4 years. The people won't have patience to wait for 4 years. If President Mahama is not able to at least look at those factors where people would have some way to tintin cost of production. Make sure that at least the interest rate comes down. Make sure that electricity prices are stable. Make sure that the CD exchange rate is stable. Make sure that if for nothing at all, agriculture is key. We can feed ourselves. If in this short duration, he's not able to put that in place, and people begin to see a change coming in, they won't wait for 4 years. They will shut this country down. They will shut this country down. Because among for near break, for patients, they were patient with you guys, and they realized that you took us for granted being patient.
So you expect John Mahama to go and giddy.
Yeah, I expect it. Because that is
an
what
ask principle.
That is what the people are asking for. I won't use that an ask principle because someone tried to use it. It didn't even work.
All right, Fred, you know Fred Agbenyo?
Yes.
The MP elect for Guam in the OT region says that please add OT to the Volta region clean water that you're attributing.
OT is part and parcel of it.
So
and
Fred,
we should try as much as possible to keep that. But you see, I think one of the major things we also need to look at is the import of tomatoes and onions. We're spending too much money.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to build our rice buffer stock.
Okay.
Storage in agriculture is key. We should be able to feed ourselves. We should be able to feed ourselves. That's the most important. You see, Roland, the document that they brought in, the farming document they brought in, what was it called? Plan for. Roland, have you read it? Fantastic.
I've seen. They were even on the second one, or they are on the second one.
I said fantastic document. It's the implementation. And I would suggest to President Mahama, as much as possible, he says we are going to have an economic dialogue. All the things that are good from whatever party, please, let's have a look at it. And let's have one document. And he's also talked about a national development plan. Let's do that and have it in place to make sure that at least people have something to judge him by. He has only 4 years. Only 4 years. And he needs to leave a name. Anybody who tries to do what the MPP did in terms of individuals trying to enrich themselves, take them on. Let the people see that you've taken them on.
But you see, President Mahama has indicated that
all right,
potential appointees who want to engage, President Mahama has indicated that potential appointees who want to engage in Galamsey should desist from taking appointment. You know that, he has said that. And he has also indicated that if you are an appointee and you are caught engaged in Galamsey, you'll be sacked. He's made those points clear.
All right, let me just, Seth sent me this. He said this one, 2nd January 2025, announcement, Bonsa Headworks shut down. We are sorry to announce that the Bonsa Headworks that produced 75 potable water to Takwa Township and some environment shut down due to massive Galamsey activities on River Bonsa, making it difficult to abstract for treatment. We have tried all that we could, but to no avail. Hence the shutdown. The river is still being monitored for acceptable parameters to enable us restart production. And until then, the plant remains closed. And this one is Wisdom, okay. That's DM Ghana Water Company, Takwa. And I know a lot of people in Takwa anyway.
But Roland, is it true that today is your birthday? Because I'm getting reviews. People are sending messages to me.
You want to hide your birthday?
No. Usually Ted is always my birthday.
Oh.
So what happens is that I don't get anything from my friends because they spend all the money for Christmas and they are paying school fees.
Okay.
No, that's not a problem. Oh, go for lunch.
You don't tell them, so how do you
Happy birthday to myself.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
A good one. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to get the information. But what I hear is that WAPCO, they were supposed to pick the line, the gas line that brings gas in. This government told them to wait till January. They were supposed to do it in December.
They didn't do it.
They didn't do it. And they said to do January. January hasn't come. There could likely be Dumso coming up. I hope I can get all the information. But that is what I'm hearing.
Right.
So, you see, I hope that this government is not trying to set up President Mahama's
incoming government.
I hope not.
All right. Okay.
But we'll get the information.
All right.
And we will see.
So we'll see you again next Friday.
Yes.
All right. So we want to bring to you a comprehensive coverage of the last State of the Nation address by the President, outgoing President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and that will be before Parliament. Eric had been giving us the latest, the latest as well. So we'll close the session, and then we're going to have a new set and tell you know how we tend to do it. And this is the continuous coverage we've been doing. We're talking about Election Command Center. Ghana decides 2024. That is continuing till we are able to wrap up the inauguration of the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. But apart from me celebrating my birthday, happy birthday to me. All right. You guys give me a handshake. Give me a handshake. Thank you. Thank you. We'll cash out on my behalf.
Be careful, Nanado does not spoil your birthday mood. Well, you can be making certain statements today.
Tomorrow, so we'll cash out. But tomorrow is also the birthday of the wife of a great friend of mine, Michael Parkway Siedu. And so, happy birthday in advance, because tomorrow will not be here. Lady Sadina Meidu, you'll celebrate your birthday tomorrow, the 4th of January. Have a great one. And please make sure you cash out. Just in case before the draw you don't know, Lady Sadina Meidu, your birthday is tomorrow, so cash out big time, *439#. The one who has done and is lucky for the first draw is the number 0246856. There's an interesting post, though, on social media. I would want to appropriately read that to you. Sometimes he gets to insult me on social media, though, but this one, it's coming from Sir Obama Pokwase. I thought this one was quite interesting. He posted, I welcome the Professor Mike Okwe-led Elections Review Committee commissioned by the MPP National Council to ascertain reasons behind the party's worst defeat since the year 2000. Sir Obama Pokwase continues, while at it, I would respectfully beseech the venerable former Speaker of Parliament and academician to make Dom Kwabenya his first assignment by unraveling the circumstances leading to the loss of his son, Mike Okwe Jr., in a constituency the MPP, I'm reading from Sam, he continued, the MPP has from time immemorial touted as a stronghold. He continues that this request is premised on the fact that the good old professor is a former two-term member of Parliament for the same constituency. And he ends, humbly, the request with an exclamation mark is on the page of Sir Obama Pokwase. I've received some flags from him 1 or 2 times, but don't worry, it's part of the...
He must also be investigated because it's one of the reasons that the party lost.
I don't understand.
He was cheering them out in those days that the party members were misbehaving. Yeah, he was part of it. So he cannot be blaming Obama.
Obama is a very effective.
They went and brought in this Baumia must win.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you live coverage. Proceedings in Parliament. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is, presenting before Parliament his last of the State of the Nation address. Stay with us. Election Command Center, right here.
This is the reason why I love Ghana.
Then the lottery acquiring penty Yenim said Ghana and Nadim Kunim.
We are one. Ghana as one.
We are proud about Ghana. Sabaya 2 years now. Akos Asundem, I show how we are.
Africa and the rest of the world salute Ghana.
Don't forget, the lottery acquiring pen send love. Love to all Ghanaians. The lottery acquiring pen.
Goil in the service of the name.
Ho, ho, ho. Now you know how I get to you with Super Joy, Super XP. That's what fuels my rounds. I get value for money, enjoy smooth rides, and it takes me further. I wish you safe drives and